After the ball is over, after the skein is done, after the die lot's finished, and you are short just one, many a knitter has made a tearful and desperate call, pleading with their local yarn shop, go after that ball.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 553. Today is Tuesday, May 9th, 2023. As we are recording, it is a rainy day.
Cool. I'm cold, so hood.
It's a little chilly outside. Not cold, but chilly.
No, it's just that I know when I take this off, my neck will be cold.
Mm-hmm. We want to welcome all new and returning viewers to the... Well, did I say who we are?
No, we did not say who we are.
Okay, let's see. All right, episode 553.
Yeah,
this is the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 553. I am Marleisha, also known as Lady Fernico.
And I'm Talia, also known as Francisca Gypsy. And your platypus is like trying to encroach on my space.
We want to welcome all new and returning viewers to the Fun in the Woman Cave. If you're new, we're glad you found us. We hope you see something you like and that you will stay. If you are returning, we're always glad to have you back. And if you are in the shadows, either new or returning, please, if you want to be more involved or just want to be an official part of the group, just tap the little subscribe button, it's the little red button on your right, and tap the little bell. You can tell what level of notifications you want with that little bell. There's a little drop-down menu, and so you get notifications. If you'd like to take part in the alongs and the camaraderie and all that kind of stuff, that happens at our home page, our home group, which is Pen, Hook, and Needles. It's PHN podcast at freeforums.net, and that's in the little description below this video. Yeah, so how many projects do you have? 2. Okay, well, I've got 5, but I only show 4.
But again, you just wave the bags one of your extra times.
Mm-hmm.
I have a design that I'm not even showing the bag because I'm too lazy to go and get it, and that would be in shop anyway.
This is my Adagio Owl and Other Forest Creatures mug, and in it I've got chocolate mop for these little gray cells, I think is what it's called. This is my standby when I'm feeling a little bit tired. I'm not tired, I'm just kind of melancholy today. So.
We've got thunderstorms and stuff. It's been kind of difficult this past week or so.
Mm-hmm. We didn't podcast yesterday because Talia actually could not do it. So we're here today. We're all okay. We're all okay. And what do you have in your mug?
Okay, so because I make my tea in the morning, my tea's not as hot as Mom's is, but it also means we're not waiting on me to make my tea, so it's a kind of good trade-off. I have Earl of Grey in here. That is a tea spot tea.
That's one that was it Stephanie who gave us the original for that?
I think so.
I think it was Stephanie who gave it. Thank you very much, whoever it was, but I think it was Stephanie.
I'm not sure if I made it differently this time or if my taste is off today. I feel like I might have maybe put it in too many leaves.
Yeah, I think so. You want taste mine and see if mine is off to you, because you like the little gray cells too. So it doesn't taste. It tastes weak.
Yeah, this one tastes okay. I don't know why this one tastes weak. Maybe I didn't do enough sugar, because I had heaping teaspoons. So,
all right.
I think that I don't have the right ratio. It actually to me it tastes like there might be too many leaves.
Too many? It seems like there's not enough for me. It's not strong enough.
I don't know. I might have to make more later. Refresh the tea leaves and see.
Yeah. Because this one,
because I don't usually have issues making that.
This one, I don't usually have issues, but I'm always afraid of making it too strong.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I may have put a little bit too few in here, because
I didn't get quite. I wasn't sure if it was me because my taste is off today, but I thought it tasted a little bit weaker. Now we could both be having taste issues today.
Could be. I have allergies though.
My life is allergies. I do wonder, like, how much fuller everyone else's taste is.
I don't know. But anyway, we will move along. We will stop talking about blathering about allergies and things that really don't interest you. We have several alongs, 3 of them to be exact. The first one is the PHN Movie Night Make Along 2023, and that started January 1st. That goes all January 1st, not 3rd, all the way through this entire year. So it ends on December 31st, going into January 1st of next year, which is 2024, which I'm not even going to go there just yet. I'm not ready for sci-fi land at this particular point in time. So, yes, this runs a whole year, and the projects must be knit, loom knit, crocheted, woven, or paper crafts such as journaling, origami, card making, etc. Okay.
Which sci-fi movie takes place in 2024?
I don't know. I don't care. I'm just saying that that's a sci-fi type of date. Like they told me that my next colonoscopy has to be 2030. I'm like, yeah, that's like so far in the future that I can't even think about it right now. See here, where was I? Origami, blah, blah, blah. Normal rules apply for this. You just have to look in the group for the featured yarns, the featured patterns, all that kind of stuff. The hashtag is PHN Movie Night 2023 on Instagram. We had pulled already first quarter prizes. This is the only along. When we have our year alongs, we pull prizes for quarterly. So you guys get more chances at a prize, and I don't end up with a plethora of things to send out all at one time. Okay? Now, the autism awareness is, this one was April through July. April, May, June. Yeah, April through, it ends July 1st, or actually June 30th. When we hit July 1st, is another along. This one we've been doing for several years, and it's just to foster autism awareness. Every once in a while you guys get an autism fact randomly just because we have someone with autism in the house. So we don't, for the first few years we tried to do something more structured, and that's not going to work for us right now. So,
and we were having discussion today about how autism is currently one of the popular diagnoses, and what we mean by that is not just that it's getting officially diagnosed more often. We mean that people are self-diagnosing.
It's the cool thing to be.
So I can't tell you how many times I see online where people in comment sections are saying, I'm autistic, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just sitting here like, I don't think all of you are autistic, which sounds judgy, but living with someone who has a level of autism in the house, I'm just sitting here like, are you all really?
Yeah, it's the newest thing, and has been for a few years. You know, kind of the catch-all that ADHD was for a while, and things
and
like
also
that.
people like claiming undiagnosed PTSD and anxiety. Not saying that
those things are real.
They are absolutely
100%
I've had patients with those.
Yeah, which makes me annoyed when people want to claim it.
And I don't mind if they're diagnosed.
No.
And they're claiming.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The people who just kind of say,
They self-diagnose.
They self-diagnose. I get mad because it diminishes the fact of the people who actually have it.
And if they actually do have it,
That's
and they're
fine.
Self-diagnosing, please get help.
Yes. Yes, please get help, and then come back and tell us all about it.
Because the self-diagnosing it waters things down, and I don't know if some people feel more special by doing it, or what it is. But yeah,
You're seeing a little bit of that with POTS now, too.
that's what I understand. It's not well known enough yet to pop up in comment sections.
Not in comment sections, but I've seen a couple of things pop up with POTS. I'm like,
it's hard because POTS presents in so many different ways, and it's very easy for patients with POTS to be shoved into an anxiety diagnosis. A lot of people have been shoved into other.
But that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that POTS is showing up, not the anxiety stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's not as common as autism, which is like all over
autism.
the place.
It feels like every third person in a comment section is claiming autism.
Autism, PTSD, and anxiety. Which, like I said, I think there's a lot of PTSD and anxiety around.
I'm not sure if there's as much PTSD as is represented online. I do think anxiety is very prevalent.
I think it is.
And I'm pretty sure, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the people who are claiming anxiety online have it. But I think PTSD has become so watered down that if you have even one bad experience, people will claim PTSD from it. Even if it's just, I had a bad experience, now I have a reaction to it. It's like, I don't think you really have looked at the DSM, I think we're on DSM-5 now, and looked at what the criteria is for this. You can't just say, I have PTSD because I had a bad experience.
But anyway, which is not to say that people don't have it who aren't diagnosed.
No. I mean, like I said, I've had patients who struggle with it. It's sad.
Okay, so we have, for this autism awareness along, which is what we're focusing on,
yes,
is hashtag PHNAA2023 on Instagram. And we have all the pertinent information is in the thread. Same types of projects are acceptable. Same thing for multiple postings, all that stuff. It's all in the threads on PHN. If you want to take part in this, you have to be part of the group, so you'll be able to see the rules on the group. Okay, tells you what the featured patterns, featured yarns are, all that kind of stuff. Let's see. They give you the, yeah, I did give you the hashtag. Prizes for this one are just, we only have the one draw because it's only 3 months, so it'll be the one draw. We have a nice donation, very generous donation from Pat, who's Lindy Hiker. She's donating one of her patterns. So if you win that, you just will contact her and tell her which one you want, and she'll get it out to you. Okay. Let's see here. The last one is PHN Celebrating Spring, Passover, and Easter Mound. You only have about a week for this one left. Okay. This one ends the day after Mother's Day, on Davina's birthday. So, and this one is anything to do with spring, the spring holidays, spring colors, all that kind of stuff.
Davina's birthday's a holiday. That's why it ends on Davina's birthday.
This is the month of Davina. Mm-hmm. But anyway, and this is fine. She gets a lot out of her birthday, mm-hmm. as it should be. This runs March 2023 through May 15th. And the theme is anything had to do with the holidays during this time frame. Easter, Passover, all that kind of stuff. Davina's birthday, yes. If you want to do something for Davina's birthday, we'll count it, okay? Let's see. So this is basically the same, and the hashtag is CSPE 2023 on Instagram, and you can see that in the thread. I know it's a little bit, it's all the letters and numbers and things. It's
in the thread. It's in
the thread.
You have no reason to care if you aren't in the thread, because
you're not doing
you can't take part in it.
Yeah. So that takes care of that.
And hopefully our lights and stuff will stay. We do have a thunderstorm going on.
Is it still going on here?
I could hear a little bit of thunder.
I didn't hear anything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's in the distance.
I didn't hear anything. Okay.
It's my super hearing.
Okay. In my Knitter's My Bag, Large Angels bag, is my Film Noir shawl, and I had thought I might have finished it this week, but no. I didn't work on a whole lot this week.
Yeah, I didn't do as much as I wanted of knitting or reading. Now, I had a lot of light sensitivity this week.
I was doing other things, trying to do something that was not craft related. Whoops.
Is a bunny.
Yes, it was a bunny. Hope Valeria's around. See this?
Yeah, I think I just did the wrong ratio of tea to water.
Okay, so here is, I think I did too. Here's I also am not sure if I got steeped long enough because I put the timer on but didn't start it. Mm-hmm. So here is the shawl, how it is. You can see it's getting quite large. And I did, I think all I did was the color that's on the bottom here. Mm-hmm. I think I was already on there when I saw it a minute ago.
I know part of my waking time was used making enchiladas. We need to move the enchiladas from the big container into smaller ones. Mm-hmm. So at least one can be up here, because I don't want my enchiladas to go bad because we forget about them.
That's fine.
Because I love them.
This, at least this week, we're not going to have that extra day out because nobody's coming.
Yeah.
My sister was going to come, but she couldn't do it. So my sister and my parents, because she came from the West Coast to visit my parents, and my parents are in Philadelphia, so they were going to try and come here in between all the stuff they were doing before they go visit my sister in Vancouver. And so they just thought it was too much for them. So, but for a while,
their body suddenly reminded them that
they're old.
That they are not as young.
They're not spring chickens anymore.
None of us are as young as we used to be.
It's kind of creepy. You're young as you used to be.
Yeah, not even if you were if you're 20, you're not as young as you used to be. It's
But
just,
you can handle that more.
yes, yes.
You know, so, but they decided that, and I think that, I mean, my parents are in their, you know, my dad's in his mid-80s, my mom's not quite there yet, and my sister's about, I think she's 56.
Once you hit 30, the invincibility of youth seems to disappear.
I am invincible!
It's like, before that, you just kind of feel like you can take anything.
Made out of Kevlar,
Yeah, it's like...
adamantium or something.
No, made out of vibranium.
Vibranium, that's even better. I guess when you're 20, you're vibranium, when you're 30, you're adamantium, and then after that, you're Kevlar. And then
Wow, that was a quick
and then you're nothing. And then
you go from adamantium to Kevlar. You don't even hit, like, I don't know,
titanium, maybe?
steel or something like that first. You go right to Kevlar. That's a quick decline.
50 is actually the bigger drop, so maybe I should have gone to steel first, and then...
Yeah, because that's a pretty swift decline right there.
That's because I couldn't think fast enough.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure if you look at comics and the metals, they usually put vibranium at the top and then adamantium.
Yeah, I think they do.
Because I'm pretty sure that Wolverine's claws would get hurt if he scratched something.
But I think he could scratch it, it just would damage him.
I have to look into that.
yeah,
I'm not sure if he could scratch it.
I think he could, but not very far. Like, he couldn't make... I don't think he can make deep grooves in it or anything.
I do wonder why T'Challa's claws were able to scratch Cap's shield when they were both vibranium. Like,
yeah.
was
may
it
have
the
been
force behind his effort?
It might have
or-
been the fact that it was sharpened.
Okay, and sharpened, and then
Yeah,
the fact that he was putting body weight behind it.
possibly. I mean, I'm not sure why that would work. I'm not sure how they broke Cap's shield. You know, it's just they broke
Cap broke it himself. It's probably just his strength level. I don't know.
not for vibranium.
And also, Hulk hasn't been able to break it.
Yep. Nope. I don't know. See, they broke it. I'm not. I thought
Unless
that,
it was weakened by when it was scratched up by T'Challa.
No. I think maybe Thanos broke it. I mean, he's.
I thought no, Cap dropped it. That's right. Cap didn't break it. Thanos probably broke it. In
Yeah.
which case, he is a Titan,
Yep.
and that Titan trumps Hulk.
Yep.
So that's
As we
probably
saw.
yes. And he had all the rings and everything. So yeah, that's why he was able to break vibranium.
Yep.
Okay, we have settled a very important
point.
Very important.
It affects the fate of the entire world.
Actually, in that case,
It did.
it did.
Yeah.
Entire universe, even.
Yeah.
So yes,
And we're here to tell you why.
yes, we are.
Because we know everything.
It's so important.
It is very important. Okay, where am I here? Why is this all spaced like that? That's weird. I don't know what that's spaced like that for. Okay. In my, because you said I had 5 and you had
I have 2.
2. Okay, so I do twice.
Just 2.
Twice. Okay, hold on just a second here.
I think I want to measure this. I don't think I'm at a point where I should
It's a
start
little
to sew
stronger
yet.
now. A little stronger now. Okay, in my, which bag is it in? Oh, this one. In my Silver Shed USA anniversary bag, 10 year, is my strawberry shortcake baby blanket from the Cerebell scarf pattern by Anastasia Sattel. No, it's not Anastasia Sattel. That's Sarah Sweetheart. I really need to change that in my notes.
Okay, another 2.
Cut and paste there. So I didn't do much on this at all. I think all I did on this was when we were during the podcast last time. So this didn't really grow too much, but there it is. Show it to you anyway, because it's pretty. And I'm looking forward to finishing this so I can get started on the blue one.
Right. Okay, so I go till 8 inches long. So I have an inch to go.
And I have a red one down there too, it looks like.
Yeah, I think you do, because I picked the colors you asked for.
Mm-hmm.
You pointed out.
I hope they're not all fuzzy like this.
I don't think they are, because I think you said the fuzzy ones were the ones that you picked up. I hope that they aren't the fuzzies.
I mean, it's not hard to work with. It's just,
Yeah.
it's hard. It's kind of hard when you have to chain it first.
Right.
What I do is and sometimes I do this anyway, is I'll start it with a bigger hook.
I was going to ask you what about the foundation single crochet.
I don't like doing the foundation single crochet.
Once I learned how to do it, I didn't mind it.
I find it fiddly.
Who was it who I learned foundation?
George, I think.
No, it was his friend, Shannon.
Oh, Shannon, okay.
I'm pretty sure it's because of Shannon that I learned a foundation single crochet.
It might be.
Even though I never finished one of his patterns, it was like...
I did finish one of Shannon's patterns, my sweater. The one that Daddy calls the Joker sweater.
Right.
Beautiful Dragonfly Fibers yarn.
It is beautiful.
It's your turn.
Yes. So, actually, I should probably take back that stitch so that way then I can show this. In my Silver Shed USA 10-year anniversary bag, these are the Not Just Boring boot socks. That's the pattern name. It's by Corinne Spencer. Usually I say it all at once, so Corinne Walcher. I don't know why I said Spencer. Usually I remember her name, and I don't know why it just blanked out at that moment. And the colorway, and I actually have the tag.
Wow.
This is Undead Yarn. This is one of her older ones. It's the Witch base. I don't know if she carries this base anymore.
I don't think she does.
It's a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. It's sport weight, and the colorway is Snap, Crackle, Oh Crap, Pop. And this is a fun colorway. Whoopsie, this one first. And I have finished the first socks. I've been kind of focusing on this and the lap blanket because I want to get this done because I have other socks on the needles and all the ones I started when I was going to have my surgery. So I want to get some of these socks finished. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to be able to do that if I work on each sock a little bit. I just need to, especially if it's a Not Just Born boot socks, you can just plow through Not Just Born boot socks. I can knit Not Just Born boot socks while I'm reading if I'm in the right brain space. So yes, that's the first one. The only time I can't do it is if I'm doing something like the gusset. And then here is the second one. I am about an inch away from starting the toe.
That's good.
So yeah, this is, I think the next one I have in this colorway, I have I think it might be a marigold. No, it's a, oh, what's her
That
face?
colorway or that pattern?
No, in this pattern.
Yeah.
I think I have a, what's her face? She's in town.
Oh, wild hair.
Wild hair, because I have quite a few wild hair set aside that I can use simply because wild hair dyes yarn on good bases for heavier weights that have superwash merino in it. So I have had those set aside. I think they're all in socks right now that just need to be knit on. And she dyes yarn in a similar way to the way you dye yarn. You guys have similar tastes and color palettes. Now, if I want self-striping, she's a little bit of that sometimes.
I don't do self-striping.
And that's where I could get that from her, where I can't get that from you. And you guys aren't exactly the same, but I actually have to think about it a little bit of whether or not it's yours or hers. Because you guys do have something similar in the feel. Like, I would never mistaken Heidi's for yours.
A different color palette.
Yeah, exactly. Different color palettes. Different style, even. I think. Like, she doesn't have this... Well, I can't bring my leg up all the way. There we go. This kind of... You can't really see it, but it spirals. And I'm not bringing up the other knee because that's the one because that's the one I dislocated. And I just don't feel like playing with it. So, yeah, Mom's Yarn spirals. The ones I'm wearing are Little Bunny Fufu. But
Some of them do. Most of them do.
most of them do. Like, if you look at my Plum Deluxe ones, those really spiral. It just depends. But I think if I was to look at some of your newer ones, where you're just trying different dye methods, they're not going to necessarily spiral in the same way as some of your older ones, where I think you pretty consistently stuck to one dye method.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah.
And sometimes they do mini stripes.
Yes, sometimes they do. That's usually with your fingering ones. I've noticed, just because, maybe because I have, the number of stitches per stripe is different, or per color is different. But, yeah. That is that for this pair of socks. I might even be finished with it if I focus on it by the next time we do it. Then I could,
Depending on when we podcast.
right. Because I'm not that far. It's not that hard to do a toe. then I could go, okay, what is the next sock that needs to be focused on? What I really should do is my Eleanor crosses, because I am on the second sock for that. But what's probably going to happen is I'm going to knock out some of my heavier weight ones that I can do while I'm reading, because I can't do Eleanor crosses when I'm reading because that's a chart. And I'm already working on one pattern with the chart, with the blanket. So I don't want to have two patterns of the chart that I'm focusing on.
See here.
I think because I'm trying to wade my way through a lot of projects, I'm probably going to be pretty consistent with only a couple.
That's what I'm going to be too, because like the blanket, the wedding blanket, sometimes I can't do it at all, and when I do have time to craft, I do that because I have a time frame on it, and I have to wind up some yarn for it because I'm at the point where if I do any more, I'm going to run out of yarn, so I have to wind some more yarn up for it. But in my Kikiboo Owls bag is my little baby hat. It's a little, there's the bag, little premium hat. I haven't done anything really on this since the podcast, so I'm not going to do it right now either. I don't feel like it.
That works.
It should have been done many, many moons ago, but
well, shockingly, when you don't work on something, it doesn't get done.
I don't feel like it. Okay, and this one I can't show you.
So just wave it around.
So this is a test pattern for Talia.
I haven't even worked on. That's a test pattern that I wrote it up. Was like, I'm gonna knit on this, and I haven't knit on it since I wrote it up. So
I finished the first part of it.
I probably should get to knitting on that again. Because
it's about 4 inches or so.
With knit patterns, I work differently than I do crochet. Crochet ones, I write them as I go, because I do toys, so it's a visualizing thing. I have to, okay, that way of doing the eye didn't work. Let's back up, change the math on that a bit, go forward. So there's a lot more of it's a different way of doing it. Whereas for the knit ones,
you got a lot of trial and error in the
crochet ones. Yes. You said I do it after all.
Yeah, while you're talking, because it's your turn.
Yeah. So because of the fact there's more trial and error in the crochet ones, there's a lot more tearing back and going forward. Just because of the nature of what I designed for crochet. If I did something that wasn't crochet toys, if I did crochet toy that didn't have the eyes that I use, perhaps it wouldn't be the same. But because I do color work eyes, it's a lot more of a test, try this, oh that didn't work, okay let's try this, okay that worked. Now for my knitting, I usually start with an idea, write it down, and then I see how it works. Just because it feels like it's a lot simpler to me to design knit. But again, crochet, it's because of what I design. I'm sure if I design something crochet that the way I design knit, I probably could do it the same way. It's just the nature of what I design. Project. So my final project that I worked on this week, because like I said, I've been focusing on two, in my Batman tote bag. This is my log cabin love blanket, or it was a baby blanket originally. That's the design. That's what the design was intended to be anyway.
It's by George.
It's by 10 Hours or Less, George. But I wanted a lap blanket, so that's what I'm doing. Because I sit on my desk and my legs get cold. A lot of times right now I'm using my poncho to cover my legs because it's not so long that it's going to get caught up in the wheels.
Right.
It's
double too.
And it's double as well. So, but when this is done, it'll be nice to have something that's actually meant for that, because the shape kind of being awkward with the poncho. So I finished this log here.
Very nice.
Now I did run out of that color, and I'll be using the color that I'm using to replace it with on this side again later for its own, because I have a lot of this new color. Now I barely add this one, so you can't really see it. It's a darker red because I just ran out of the color here.
Right. It's okay. It's a log cabin blanket.
Exactly. I have one other time where I did that. I think I only have one. No, maybe I did it twice where I ran out. I just can't remember where the other
scrap blanket, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I'm running out of yarn occasionally. I know I did it for this brown here. I had to find a brown that was close-ish, and it's had some variation to it, so it's not very close. But once I add other colors around it, you barely notice it because it's the scrappy nature of it. Yeah. But there we go. It still feels kind of autumnal. But I think that will change once I add the blue sections, which will be next. Yeah, it feels very foresty right now.
We've got autumn colors in there.
I do. Well, initially I thought it was going to it had this baby feel because of the section in the center, which was blue.
I actually like it a lot better when you've got these darker colors in.
Well, yeah, I knew once I added other colors in, because it would be a different feel. Because it's not like I have a ton of these colors. I started with these because I think I had lower amounts of the yarn. I think that's what it was. I had lower amounts of the yarn. Also, I was going from my ball of yarn that was a variegated, or not variegated. It was a
gradient.
It was gradient that I haven't had a chance to use. So I was like, well, let me use some of that for it. And if I happen to run out of other colors and I still want to go, I won't change colors for each log necessarily. I'll just keep going with the gradiated yarn until I decide I'm done, and it'll change on its own. But yeah, this, I am happy with how it's going. I want a decent sized one, but obviously not so big that it kind of defeats its purpose. And I think I probably won't need to go to the other yarn because I have, let's see, after this green, or after this red, I have blues set aside. I have like a yellow. I have like a pink and red, because it had the same dark red in here that I just added on. That'll be with the pink. Then I have like a blue, another blue that's lighter, quite a bit lighter than the first blue that I have. And then I have like a tanny yellow color that's different than the other yellow. But once I get past those, I will have to reconsider. But I think once I get past those, I'll be done. But yeah, this is fun. I like the hearts. I like this pattern. And if I were still on Ravelry, I would absolutely put this up and, like, I don't know, I can't remember if there's a way to rate the patterns on there. I don't think there was.
No, you can rate them.
Could you? I couldn't. Are you sure?
You can do, you can rate them by what your difficulty level is, and I think you can also rate them how well you like them. I think.
I can't remember.
I know you can do the difficulty level.
Yeah, because
or you could when we were there.
Yeah, because things could possibly change. But yeah, I don't even post that much to Lovecrafts for my projects just because I'm lazy. And Lovecrafts, they don't have the most user-friendly setup, where it can be really hard when you're creating a project page to find a pattern in there, even if they carry it. If you do a search for pattern name, it still might not come up.
You have to know the designer and find the designer.
Sometimes that doesn't even work.
Yeah,
it's very.
I had a hard time finding Kay, and I had a hard time finding Cozy Up Knits.
Well, I mean, not even just like, that's a difficult setup too. Just finding your patterns when you're searching the main area. I'm talking about when you're creating your project page. It's nigh impossible to find. I've had trouble quite a bit finding patterns that, like, it's even worse than trying to find patterns in the main area. I don't
understand what you're saying.
Okay, so when you link a pattern to your project page,
right,
it doesn't have a good search function in relation to that to link that pattern, because I might have found the pattern already on their main search area, so I know it's there, I own it, but I go and do a search in there once, like when we used to do on Ravelry, you used to link a pattern to your project page. I can search. It doesn't matter that I own it and know it's there. They can't find it because their search function is dumb.
They're a great place, but they're
just not.
The user interface is a little difficult.
Yeah, it is. Now I know that I'm pretty sure their purpose originally wasn't necessarily to
It wasn't.
I think having project pages and stuff might have been a secondary thing. I
Well,
think they
they-
always were for selling.
They had an influx from Ravelry.
Yeah, they did. And I don't
so-
think they always had the function of... I don't remember because I only was on there
Oh.
as a seller initially where my patterns from Ravelry would cross over with absolutely no effort from myself.
And I didn't go there until I left Ravelry. So
So, but I never used it for any other
I
function.
didn't even know about them until after I left Ravelry.
No, the only reason why I did is because they were like, "Do you want this to cross over?" I'm like, "Sure, why not?"
Okay. My last project is in my Stitch by Mimi's teacups bag, which I love. I love all my bags that people have given me. This is my To Have and to Hold Afghan. This is from the Cerebel Scarf pattern by Sarah Sweethearts, and this is a wedding gift.
Oh, I need to respond to
Yes, I know
the
you do.
groom.
So this, it has grown because this is what I've been working on for the most part, which is why I haven't had much progress on anything else. Try to get the right area. Here we go. I should probably weave in ends while I'm waiting to, but you can see it's gotten quite a bit larger.
I know when I have to weave in my log cabin ends, I'm gonna weep because I've been so lazy about weaving those ends.
So you can see that this has grown quite a bit. This is my Bare Necessities, which means essentially it is not dyed.
You see, I always find with the more open crochet that it would be more challenging to weave in ends. I'm surprised. Well, I guess it would show. Like you don't carry it along.
I do carry it somewhat along.
Okay, because then you could just cut it.
But no, I still have to do some kind of weaving.
Yeah.
Because it sticks out otherwise.
You see, because of what I chose to crochet, I didn't really have to weave in the same way. I could just stick it into the head of the toy.
Right.
And you just kind of go in and out a couple times and then you're done. So I didn't really ever have to care about weaving in ends.
And for this one, like I said, I have to sit down. Maybe while we're watching TV today, I will sit down and cake up about 2 or 3 of these, and then I can work on it. I have a doctor's appointment, just a routine type thing for Davina on Monday, and I will sit in the office, and if I have time, if they let me sit there.
I'm surprised I got her in so quickly.
Yeah. So I will, hopefully do this in there, because I would like to get this done by July.
Is this a new person, or is it still...
No, it's Sarah.
Okay, I wasn't sure she had retired.
No, she's semi-retired.
Okay.
She's semi-retired. She only takes people in the morning.
Oh, okay.
So I'm hoping that I can work on this while I'm there. And, of course, when you have your appointment on Thursday, I'm hoping to get a lot of things done.
Yeah, and that's what's going to be my final appointment with my dysautonomia doctor, because...
Get a referral.
I'm going to need a referral elsewhere. Haven't heard back from the whole insurance thing.
About?
Oh,
never mind. Tell me about it later.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the whole reason I haven't been working on this a whole lot is because, as I showed you, all I have is this. It's not even going to go across the entire section here. Mm-hmm. So I'm really happy with the way this is turning out. I think it looks. I was worried it would be not special enough.
No, I think it's going to be really lovely.
So this, I'm really happy with it. And it's been what I wanted to work on. Sometimes it's hot. Like I'll come back from a walk with my husband and I'm like, I don't want to work on it. It's too hot with it. Or I'll have something that like has chocolate in it. I'm like, I don't want to have anything that might spill on it.
Right.
So I wait until after I'm done with that and then I can do it. But yeah.
And thankfully this is a pattern that you know by heart, so even though you're watching Person of Interest, mm-hmm. you can still focus on, because if you guys haven't watched it, it's a pretty intense show. Even if you've watched it a couple times, it's very riveting. And they also have very well fleshed out characters.
Mm-hmm. Very, very well drawn. If my husband gets caught in a character, it's a good character.
I could hear him ranting about a character one day from my room. I immediately recognized the episode he's talking about, because I was the one who introduced Mom to it, and then Mom has introduced Dad to it. I don't even know how I found it initially. Maybe it came up because I like Caviezel. I don't know.
I like Caviezel as well. So
because I first watched him in a movie in Frequency, and oh my gosh, I rewatched that movie over and over.
We had
and
that
over
movie.
again. Yeah, I know.
We brought it here.
I was like absolutely obsessed with that.
I don't know if that was
during
before,
my teenage years.
I don't know if that was after or before The Passion.
It was before, because that's why as soon as The Passion came on and Caviezel came on as Jesus, I'm like, Mom, that's Caviezel, because I had
I knew who
rewatched.
it was. We knew who it was when we got there.
I didn't know until I saw him, because it's not like I looked into it. But I sat there, I was like, I know, oh my gosh, it's Caviezel, because I had rewatched Frequency so many times.
I just like him. He's really good.
But I hadn't seen him in anything besides Frequency at that point. Good movie.
Okay, so that's all I have to say about
In
that.
spite of the timey-wimey stuff.
That's all I have.
I don't have any other projects. I meant to work on some journaling, did not happen.
I have a journal. I have some journals. Not my other. I'll just show you kind of. This isn't my religious one, because I should have brought the other journal out, the one from Stacy. It is packed with stuff I want to do, but it requires a little more thought.
Right.
So I haven't really sat down to do it yet, because I love that journal.
Mom's journal stuff tends to look a lot prettier and put together than mine.
Okay, here's the first page, here, and then this is the second one. So
it's just, mine's a lot more linear or something. I just don't think in the same way.
So that's I got some nice. These stickers and things were from a run I did to Hobby Lobby, and I got some from Taperology and from
What does that mean?
Pavillon Bear.
Oh, okay.
And this is like, because this is I Am the Way, the Truth, and Life. This is like a maze.
Okay.
I didn't have a map,
Yeah.
so I used the maze.
You see, I would have never thought of any of that.
So the stickers and stuff, actually most of these stickers come from Hobby Lobby, but I have some from Taperology, and I have some from what's it called? Washi. This is just called washi tape, and this background is tissue paper from a gift somebody gave us. I can't remember who gave it to us, and it was wrapping it up. It might have been Christina, or it might have been I can't remember. Somebody gave us with this wrapping paper.
We've had quite a few things wrapping paper that we've kept. Like when we unwrapped presents at Christmas, we were like, okay, well that's for journal.
So I don't have.
I might have meant up in Christmas because I didn't have a journal till Christmas. You gave me my first journal. Oh no, my mistake.
Stephanie gave us. Stacy gave it to me.
Stacy gave me my very first journal, but it was before Christmas, because I had the 2 journals that I got at Christmas.
Because those you brought the little one with you. You were talking about your surgery and stuff in it.
That's right.
And then I went back to Stacy a little before Christmas and said, I need these 2 journals for Talia, and she got them out like so quick. I mean, she doesn't have an Etsy shop or anything, but if you ask her to make something for you, and obviously you pay for it. She gave us the first ones, and I paid for the other 2 because I said I want to make an order. So she made the beautiful journals for Talia, the bunny and the religious one, and she made my Eeyore one that you saw. That was her gift to me at the same time she sent Talia hers.
And I was grateful that I started with a small one because I was very nervous about journaling. I'm not creative in that way, and if you were to look at my journal versus Mom's journal, it's very different. Hers is a lot more whimsical. I have to work a lot harder.
Journals are individual. There's no right or wrong way.
Yeah, but you can look at some journals and be like, that's really pretty. And then you can look at my journal and it's like, that's functional. Or, I get what you're going for, but that's not as pretty.
I'm not an artist, so when I can find something, like I have a 3rd journal that I take with me every day to Mass, and write notes from the sermon, and I do my morning journal message in there and everything. And that, because I can't draw, it's very simple. It looks like a 10-year-old made a sun or made a cup or something. It's very
I know
basic.
We've talked about this before, but I kind of think of creativity kind of like being almost linked, like who doodles and who doesn't doodle.
I don't doodle.
You said you would doodle in the a little bit when
very little,
you doodle a little bit. I've never been a doodler at all.
And usually my doodling is more like names. Or geometric shapes, because I can't draw.
Nothing for me. I don't at all. And I have the base ability to draw, and this was something that I had talked about with Dad in the past, because he doesn't understand why I don't draw more, considering the fact that I do have, we've talked about before, inborn talent versus talent that has to be fostered, that's hard work that brings it to the forefront. I have inborn ability to draw. I work on it 0. I have put 0 work on. I'm very functional with it. If I have a purpose for it, I will draw. If I don't have a purpose for it, I won't. Which drives my dad up the wall. Whereas Mom will work at it more because she wants to. I think I kind of take the drawing for granted. It's there when I want it.
Kind of the way I do with music.
That could be.
I mean, I love music and I worked at it, but, whereas with my writing, I'm just like, that.
Well, and I've explained to Dad also, it's like, okay, for one thing, I'm very functional about it. For another thing, you can only have so many passions that you can focus on. And if you're, like, for me, it's like the knitting and stuff. So you can't be passionate about everything. There's only so many hours in the day. And I did go through a period of time where I learned about pasteling. I did pastel a bit. Those kind of things. But you can see it in my artwork where I lose interest and I won't even color it in. I just got bored.
Well, I know that Daddy got frustrated. Well, not frustrated, but kind of doesn't quite understand. Like, he got me a paint set that I haven't even used. I don't like coloring. I don't like paint by number. I don't like any of that stuff. The closest I come to liking that is embroidery. And I really like that because I saw this picture come out.
Yeah.
But I told my dad, I call him Dad. I'm used to call him Daddy because I'm used to talking to the girls. I call him Daddy. My husband, that if I were to do drawing, if I were really to focus on my artwork, it would most likely be pen and ink. Pen and ink, pastels, and colored pencils. I don't like paints. They're just messy and they're unforgiving, and ink can be unforgiving too. But
it can be. But if you start with the
pencils, I like, yeah,
and then you ink afterwards.
And so if I were to really focus on art, I think I would focus on that area, not painting, not watercolors.
Watercolors are difficult anyway.
I have an immense respect for people who do that side of the thing, but I would be more like, if I just pick up a pencil or a pen and I can just do that. That would be more what I'd like to do. I think there's something, I don't know, I think it feeds into the whole thing with me, like an open gate or the mystery of the mist or whatever. It's I don't know how to explain it. It's more open-ended or something. It's got a feel to it. I was talking to you about feeling today about the atmosphere and all that kind of stuff. It's got a feel to it that the other ways of doing art don't for me. And pastel is about as close as I come to wanting to do something a little more, I don't know, more. Not even that, more colored. I like colors.
Methodical?
I don't know. It's just more in depth, or maybe, I don't know. I think you can get in depth with pen and ink as well.
Oh, you absolutely can. I mean, especially if you start getting to shading and stuff. I never put a lot of effort into getting into shading, but
I like the whole shading. I guess I like black and white movies. Okay? That probably says exactly what I'm trying to say. I like black and white movies. I think color has a place in movies. But if you're going to have a noir, or if you're going to have some of these other movies, black and white is the way to go. And I don't like, if I see a mystery something that's not black and white, I'm like...
Well, I think also, if you do a mainly black and white piece of work, you then have the option of highlighting one thing with color. And I did this with my...
I like that too.
With my logo for my booktube, where everything's black and white except for my migraine glasses. And that's the pop of color. And I think for something like, if I was to do it again, I have a pastel I did of Mal from Firefly. Not necessarily the best thing I've ever done, but I'd have that. I wish, in retrospect, I had left him black and white and just done his blue eyes color.
Yeah.
I think that would have been amazing.
See, I like that kind of stuff with a little pop of color, and it could be pastels, it could be a little overwash with watercolor, or anything like that.
Or if you have like a really pale color, and then you have the bam of whatever, to use the Mal example again, just those blue eyes pop out.
And for those who don't know Mal, almost everybody knows Paul Newman. Think about Paul Newman's bright blue eyes. I mean, they were almost electric blue.
And if you just had that pop out of a black and white pen and ink or whatever, that would be a very dramatic, especially if you did something in shadow, where you had a lot of well done shadow work, shadowing. But yeah,
Well, look at Davina. Davina doesn't do anything but colored pencils.
Yeah.
I mean,
She'll ink it.
She'll ink it, or she'll outline it, but colored pencils is what she does.
Yeah, and I mean, she finds her particular art form. For a while, she tried markers. For a while, she did crayons. But she's pretty much a colored pencil. And when I do color in, it tends to be colored pencil now. But
I hate coloring.
I do too, unless it's for a purpose. And I have used the art for journaling when it suits my purpose, because either A, I don't have the stickers for what I need,
Right.
or B, it fits what I need.
It fits what you need.
It fits what I need. And the other thing I have utilized the artwork for, big time, has been the designing of crochet toys.
Right.
Not just because I draw the toy ahead of time, but because art helps you visualize the world differently. And I think I've mentioned this before. For an example, this mug, to me, you've got a circle shape up here, and then you've got another cylinder shape here. But that's how I see it. If I take the spoon, let's see, not even a best example. I want something a little bit more complex. But regardless as to what I have, I don't have anything really. Oh, one of the toys probably good. So, okay. Actually, toys are a good example because this is exactly what I use it for. Circle. We have a semicircular, half circle cylinder thing here.
Half cylinder.
Circle. Half a cylinder here, half a cylinder here. Same. So when
I would have seen it absolutely differently when I was working on it. I would have just made this, even because you did it in two parts. But if I were thinking about it, this is how we see things differently. This would have been one cylinder.
Because of the way it works.
Well, I know you have to put it together.
Yeah,
because
you can do that, but because of
the neck.
Because I've actually, when I first started, that was the way I looked at designs. But when I learned to draw, I was taught, okay, you're looking at animal. Where's the circle? Okay, you have a circle for the head a lot of times. And this part here tends to be a circle. Then we would have like a little open tube on each end, and then we would have another circle down here because when you look at an animal about how they move, and then we would have the legs differently, and then whatever we do for the tail, however the ears happen to be. But that's how I learned to look at animals while I was drawing them. Just the same thing. Okay, when you look at a person, you have the upper circle here. You have the waist, which is, again, like this half cylinder, however it happens to be shaped, whether it's feminine or more of a straight thing, like for male. And then you have the bottom, which is its own circle, whether or not, whatever the hip dimension is. And then you have above the knee,
below the knee,
which tends to be like an oval. Then you have the knee itself, which is a circle, another oval for the bottom part of the leg, but thinner. Then you have the foot, which tends to be its own oval shape when you're drawing. So you see the difference. Again, circle here for the hand. You can either do little half cylinder circle for each finger, or you can go straight. Usually if you're doing a really in-depth, you're gonna break the finger up to the knuckles. And if you're gonna do an in-depth hand, you have this here, this here. It's just, and then here's your half.
I think they get the idea.
It's really, you see the world differently when you draw, and it makes it very useful when you're designing toys. So that's mostly how I utilize the lessons I learned from drawing. And I would recommend, I think the book that Dad always recommends is Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain.
And I have that. I started that way back before, when the kids were really little, and I was drawing using the grids, and that really helped.
Yeah, I think, and I actually still do this when I'm drawing a face. You have the oval for the face, and then of course you adjust things as you go along drawing for individual faces. But you do a line here and a line here, and you set the eyes at this line, and then you set the nose along here and the lips here. What it does also, it helps you determine where your head's gonna be. So you base your thing here. Oh, my person's gonna be looking this way. So have my grid facing here. I'm gonna be down. Okay, there. So it's really highly recommend. It does help you see the world differently. Don't know if that made any sense, but there it was, your see the world through art eyes.
Are you finished?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think I made my point.
You sure? I mean, yeah.
For someone who doesn't really draw anymore, yeah.
Just let me sure you're done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. No sputters left?
Sputter.
Anyway. Okay. Stash enhancements.
Oh, this is tasting better now.
Good. Mine's gone. Stash enhancements, I can only show you the box because this is from Adagio and it's a Mother's Day.
So you're not allowed to open it.
I'm not allowed to open it. So I'll show it to you next week because I told my husband, Davina's birthday is Monday.
Yeah.
So we're celebrating her birthday on Mother's Day weekend. So I'm going to do Mother's Day the following weekend. But I told I told my husband that I have to open this one on actual Mother's Day because there's a tea in here that somebody developed for me with my name on it, and she wants me to taste it. And I told her I had to wait till Mother's Day, so I have to open this one on Mother's Day. So I'll show this to you next.
And maybe
Monday.
do it before Davina's presents. That way hers.
Oh, I'm not going to do it there. I'm going to do it. I'm just going to open it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not going to. I don't want to take away from her day.
Yeah, because it's a big deal for her.
Yeah. Okay, so
Which is why hers isn't being pushed back.
yeah, I usually push my birthday back when my
Mother's Day.
Mother's Day back. Okay, do you have anything for shop?
Not really. I mean, everything's pretty much the same. I keep saying I'm going to put up Eleanor crosses, and I keep forgetting. It will eventually happen that Eleanor crosses will become available for everyone, not just patrons. But
Okay, I do have some shop. I finished the order for the person who ordered, and I have the ones that she ordered. I'll show you first, and then I'll show you the ones that were in the mix when I started it. Okay, the first one that she's getting is called Amethyst. And this is on my Sparkle DK base. Actually, this is a Sparkle DK base that has silk in it. Oh, it has variations that I didn't realize in it. That's pretty.
she's thinking that maybe when she ordered something, she got sent the wrong base or whatever, 'cause she doesn't usually carry a silk.
Yep. So, and then the ones that she ordered with this is called Jody's Wish. Okay, it's the same base. All these are the same base. And this one is this the one I want?
And you can remake all the colors.
Yes. This is by special request. Because all these are all because she requested this, and I wanted to go through and see what she wanted, and she picked. So these three are going to her. These three.
And the funny thing is, the first one was one that she didn't think would strike anyone's fancy.
Mhm.
So it was fun.
Taya wanted. I have to make another one.
Well, I was like, okay, well, if she doesn't want it, I will absolutely take that off your hands, kind of thing.
Now this one was one of my trials. I haven't named it yet. This has got the orange. This is the new orange I had. And the lighter bits that you see, the kind of off-white, has purple speckles in it. It's just really, there you can see it that way, I think.
That's pretty.
So,
yeah, before you dye any other kind of skein for me, I'd rather you dye the yarn Davina got you so I can start your socks.
right, I have to finish what I have, though.
No, I know,
I
know.
I'll explain to you about that in a second. I probably won't do this other one yet because it's going to take up all my, I'll tell you that in a little bit.
Yeah, because Davina bought Mom this
Chroma.
one base, the Chroma, with the idea that Mom would dye it up, and I would finally knit her Christmas socks in the yarn that the not the Dance All Night socks was meant for. Mm-hmm. Getting Mom to dye yarn for herself is like pulling teeth.
Now these two yarns here, okay, this one is the same as these, but it has black in it. Okay, this is by special request. This one has the new orange in it, and this one has my regular orange. It's the same colors, same.
But those two are not.
But the oranges are different.
Yeah,
you can see the differences in the orange.
Those two are shop ones, right?
These are shop.
Yeah.
I don't have names for these yet because
you're working on them.
I don't know what I'm going to call them.
Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
These two and this one are all going in the shop as available in the shop. They're DK Sparkle. They are I was going to say they're Superwash DK Sparkle with silk in it. These are already claimed. These are this is by special request. It's kind of a speckled, I call it splotch. This one is amethyst, because she wanted something to go with it. And then this is this is Jody's wish, and this is by special request. So these, I can make these. I have to write down the recipe, but I do have it.
You probably should do that at some point soon so you don't lose it.
Yes.
Because you have lost recipes
Yes,
before.
and Jody will kill me if I do that. Please write it down. So I will do that. It's just things have been a little bit hectic. And
Yeah, and not just on like the random note paper that you have somewhere.
I've had, I have another idea that I'm going to do. It's out of season, but I have the colors out, and I want to see if it'll work. And that way I'll free up the colors to do other things for like autism awareness or just spring and
Mom's
all that
socks.
stuff. My socks, yes. That's winter. So, yes, I will try.
Even if you went for something like the blue one that you have that for Christmas, what's it called?
Blue Christmas.
Is it just Blue Christmas?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you have a couple ones because you have one that's more blue and white, don't you? And then you have Blue Christmas, which is like different blues. Is that right?
I have, the Blue Christmas is a couple of different blues and silver.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, maybe because I used multiple colors for Davina's Christmas stocking, I got confused.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to check and see.
That could well be.
I'm to the point now where I have a lot of colors and I have to go back and look.
But like, for example, Blue Christmas could probably fit in some of your other colors if you'd. I think you wanted something else though.
I wanted without packages.
Yeah.
It came without packages.
I can't remember what color that was.
It's gold and what a maroon.
Oh, it's got some purple in there too, doesn't it?
No,
Okay.
it doesn't. It's got.
Oh, I'm thinking of the other one that's got like gold and purple and stuff. It's
Oh, you're talking about Royal Blood?
Royal Blood. Royal Birth.
Royal Birth.
I'm like, Royal Blood? You have never done anything called Royal Blood.
Royal Birth. I knew it had.
You should have done something Coronation.
I thought about it afterward. In fact, this.
I guess you could still do one.
This
Coronation.
purple almost was called Coronation, but people would have gotten confused because Charles didn't wear purple. He wore red and blue.
That's right, he did, because I think that's the traditional British, like whatever the.
Right.
Was it a cape?
It's a jacket. It's a military jacket or something.
I have to look at it again because I know that he wanted to wear the breeches, but they're trying to like step away from some of the fanfare. I wish he had done the more traditional then.
I think it was. I only saw it briefly, so I'm not sure.
I'll have to take a look because I saw his crown.
Because I thought there was like a medal.
It could have been. I know that William was wearing his military uniform, and so Anne was wearing some sort of military uniform. But I don't remember what Charles was wearing, other than that really heavy-looking crown.
See, I didn't see. I just saw very. Cause I don't follow this stuff. I don't care. I love England.
But it worked for like it could have possibly worked for her colorway,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
and it could have been a good like nod in the direction because I mean it's going to be not quite as long as for Queen Elizabeth, but it's going to be a little while before William is crowned. So,
Possibly depends. I mean, Charles is old.
He's what, 70s?
I think so. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I mean, we have probably,
Hopefully, at least 10 years.
I mean, at least 10 years, hopefully. Yeah,
I mean, obviously, you don't want anything to happen to him.
Right, right.
Let's make this clear.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, based on age, okay?
Yeah.
I want to be clear that we don't want anything to happen to Charles. I mean, just
but he and Camilla are in their 70s.
I think they're in their 70s. Yeah.
Her crown looked heavy.
I think all the crowns are heavy.
I was just thinking, like, in my head, I'm just like, I don't know why I think the guys can handle a heavier crown, but when I looked at hers, I'm like, ow!
Yeah.
That looks like that hurts.
Yeah. Okay, so and I do the colorway I have coming up. I'm not going to say anything about just yet. I want to talk to Ty about it when we're done here, but
yeah,
I'm kind of excited about it.
Mom, I have to show you later. I still have to watch it. One of the people that I watch, besides doing Royal News, she does Royal Fashion, and she talks about all the what all the different royals were wearing for the coronation, and they might give you some colorway ideas because Queen Maxima and one of the other ones is really well known for their really awesome style. I can't remember which areas they're from. And Brittany
Maxima sounds like Germany.
She's not Germany. She's
I know
Swedish?
Germany doesn't have a king, but
yeah, I can't remember where she's from. One of them is Denmark, I want to say. But Brittany was actually there and got to take pictures and stuff
really?
like that. Yeah, she actually made it there. She actually got to do a selfie with Kate.
Brittany who?
Someone I watch constantly.
Okay, yeah.
She's when you watch someone often enough, you're like, oh yeah, you're so excited for them. But yeah, so no, I will have to look at them and maybe find the things later to show you, because you could possibly get some really good colorways out of that, because I'm hoping for some stunning outfits.
Yeah, that'd be cool. This colorway, these colorways were a complete custom order. Not colors I ever would have thought putting together, because I thought they would be muddy. So it was a challenging for me. It was a learning experience, and I was really happy that I told the lady that I appreciated her pushing me a little bit. So that was good to get out of my comfort zone. I'm really happy the way they turned out. And this is a I was going to make them a Halloween kind of thing, but I think they're bright enough to do autism awareness and everything, so I'll see what happens about that.
Yeah, because it's a different kind of bright, that's all.
Yeah.
It's more of an, I don't want to say autumnal bright, but it makes me think of Halloween, which is why I think autumnal.
Yeah.
But it's still bright. Like that green is neon green.
Yeah, and the purple's very bright as well. It's an electric purple.
Yeah.
And the orange, I
think it's the orange that makes it seem more autumnal.
Yeah, well, the
combination of the orange and the green.
I did the two different oranges because I wasn't sure what she wanted. She mentioned Orange Crush, and I was like, okay, I wasn't sure which one I had. I got the other orange, which is more of a red orange, and I really probably didn't need to get it, but it's going to work out fine, I think. So, yeah, I'm not even sure if when I do that other colorway, if I want to, now that I'm looking at it, if I want to put those two colors together. I'll have to see. I'll talk to you about it later.
Okay.
Anyway, we are blathering.
We are.
I don't know. Do we have anything else here?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so we don't have any special things until what, the end of the month? When do we have our Zoom?
End of the month, last Friday.
So we don't have anything till the end of the month. So yeah, we don't. I don't think we have anything in the way of personal stuff to talk about.
Not really. I think we kind of glossed over some. Not glossed over. We kind of touched on some things like as we were talking, but nothing really.
Right. So we want to wish you all a very special, wonderful week. But before we do that, I do want to thank the people who contacted us on YouTube, commented on YouTube, or wherever you contacted us. I can't remember if we did on PHN, but
I know people did on YouTube.
I tried to respond to everyone. I know there was one I didn't respond to, but it was a response to my response. So I haven't gotten to that one yet.
I don't think I saw that one.
I can't remember. I know what she said. I can't remember her name offhand. If I see it here, I probably know who it is. But we want to thank everybody who did comment on the YouTube or wherever. Looney Hiker, Wendy, who is our own personal MacGyver, Paula, Meditative Crafter, Christina, Aggie, Kara, and Gail. Thank you very, very much for your comments. Anyone else who commented and I didn't see it because I already had the notes up and we were already here and you did it a little later. We also appreciate your comments. Please feel free to comment. We'd like to hear from you. In any event, we want to wish you a very wonderful, blessed week full of knitting, crocheting, crafting, whatever it is that makes you happy. I'm trying to find, because I think it's 5:53, but I'm not sure. Yes, this is the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 553, and that's a wrap.
Bye. You still aren't playing the camera.
It's close enough.